Just in case you're just joining us, you're not so late. You're about to catch what's going on at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia. Team Nigeria filed out today, but the medals are not coming in. But we're seeing some prospects. Yes, if we do this, we do that, refine our athletes, maybe they would have been winning medals today. But there are also games going on in the Europa League. I keep telling you, it's an action-packed all the sports. Arsenal, they're red hot. The Gunners, they're blazing away. They're taking down players from CSK Moscow. And I see those Gunners fans smiling right there, believing that they can win the Europa League and get back into the Champions League. Dreams come true. Oh, yes, dreams come true. So when we get updates from the Europa League, we'll let you know. But let's give attention to the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Yes, it's upon us. It has started. It's in Gold Coast, Australia. It's the 21st edition of the Commonwealth Games. And, of course, the best of athletes from the Commonwealth Games, from the Commonwealth countries, are competing right there. Let's just give you updates on Team Nigeria before we introduce our guests on the show tonight. Favour Agboro finished in 5th position in the men's 62 kg final of the weightlifting event. But this is one for the future. Favour has just been lifting for 3 years. Favour is just 18 years old. So it's one for the future. So it means we need to do work. So if the guy can go out there and compete with the best, give him more competition. Give him the right facilities. When he goes to the next Commonwealth Games in 4 years' time, he will still be a young guy, about 22. So you see, so you can go there with good experience and then win medals for the country. So don't see it like, oh, he finished 7th, he finished 5th, he couldn't even win medals. It's not about winning. Sometimes you go there to put valuable experience in the bag. It's a similar story. Also went the way of Monica Ome. She was placed 5th also in the women's 48 kg final. So we're busy with the weightlifting event and no medals yet because it's just the first day. So guys, calm down. Nigeria's men's table tennis team, they defeated their Belize counterpart of Malaysia to progress to the round of 16. So that's some cheering news for table tennis. The duo of Osita Ume and Kazim Shoyoye. I've watched these guys start their amateur career as boxers and they are talented. But you keep asking what happens whenever they go to international competitions. Why don't we show the same class that we are known for? They crashed out in the first round of the boxing event. So a lot of work for the different federations that are right there. Team Nigeria updates still for the Commonwealth Games. Tayo Fakiyesi, who is Nigeria's sole male representative in gymnastics, finished in 10th place in a vault category. Another cheering news. We are competing in gymnastics. We're not known for that, but we're competing in gymnastics. The D Tigers will face New Zealand in a basketball event tomorrow. So that's one that you can look forward to. Millicent Aboigulem will also she will have a fight against Salote One of Tonga in a women's 76 boxing category. Millicent, the big lady right there. Let's see if she can show us some technicalities with her boxing and then advance to the next round. So the Commonwealth Games is here. Team Nigeria is competing. Countries are already winning medals. And of course, you know, it is what you sow, you reap. Let's welcome our guest. Our guest tonight is not one that is that we don't know. It's Daniel Igali. He's the president of Nigeria Wrestling Federation. But for this discussion, most of this discussion, Daniel Igali is also the chairman, Technical Commission of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, and we are the Commonwealth Games. So he has a lot of information. Tell us, Daniel Igali, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Thank you, as always, for having me on your program.
Fine. So I'll keep wrestling for the last.
All right.
And we'll talk about the technicalities. We've just read out Team Nigeria at the games. I see some prospects in other areas. I'm like, no, we shouldn't be having such results, particularly with boxing. You're the chairman of the Technical Commission. Technically, how prepared were we for these games?
Honestly, based on the kind of preparations we've had for Commonwealth Games, I think this was about one of the better ones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was there for the 2010, 2014, and now this. And 2010, we went on a foreign training tour. But here we've had training for over 2 months. And the athletes were actually well catered to in Nigeria. So if you were to look at that, I wouldn't think athletes should complain necessarily compared to what we've been having before. Though it's not ideal, but comparatively. So I think athletes were marginally prepared. Every athlete coming from every country is the best in their country. Sometimes in the continent they are representing. So you will have people win and people lose. We've had some lose, and we're hoping that as the games progress, we're going to have some win.
So for the first time, are you telling me funding wasn't an issue in preparing for the games?
Well, funding may have been an issue only to the extent of us not going outside. You're as good as the person you train with. So if I have an athlete training with their training partner in Nigeria, that is the extent. I mean, you're looking at more fitness. They're going to be fit for the tournament, but technically, is there anything added to them? You know, those are issues, and that's why a lot of times we advocate for athletes to go outside, get new experiences, have different sparring partners, especially ahead of the time. Not 1 month to, not just 2 months to, ahead of time. Sometimes it shouldn't even be right for the Commonwealth Games. It should be a year ago. So you can leverage on those experiences and do well when the main competition comes.
So what did the technical commission recommend to the country before we left for the games? So we need to know these things so that when they come, you know, Nigerians, the moment they know that their team is competing, they just want them to win. So it's good that they understand all of these things before athletes go out and compete.
Well, the technical commission's job really is supposed to do what you are saying, but the way it operates, because of the Ministry of Youth and Sports that really funds the games, and the NOC right now doesn't really have the resources to fund the games. So you essentially take what the ministry tells you. If the ministry says we can only go with 90 athletes, that's what you do, because you don't have the funding for them. Canada is not going to listen to the ministry because Canada has the funds. The NOC has the funds. So the NOC,
they're independent.
They are independent. So the NOC will tell you, no, we're going with 300 athletes. Why should a country like Nigeria go with 90? That's our mandate. Our mandate is to organize and fund the game. So that will happen. But in this case, that doesn't happen. So the role of the technical commission is not as detailed as it should be. So you are essentially a bystander and you hear what happens like everybody else. If 90 athletes are going, you hear like everybody else. 90 athletes will go. The athletes are going to be camped in Port Harcourt and here, and you are told your athletes are going to be camped here and there. If there's something you need to add, then you get back to them and say, well, I don't think Port Harcourt is the right thing for them. Not the technical commission. The president of the federation has to make that case to say, well, I don't think Port Harcourt will be good for my athletes. I think Lagos will be better. So we discussed with them. But for the first time, the technical commission was able to go around all the camps, got a feel for what was going on, the kind of feeding they were having, the coaching that was going on, the mental psyche of the athletes, and reported back to the NOC. That's the first time we've ever done it. So I think there's progress going on.
There's some progress. I agree with you. But before I know you can't wait to leave that discussion. Before we leave, so when our athletes come back now, we are not so pleased with their performance. We'll go and hold the technical commission or hold the Ministry of Sports. Who do we hold responsibly?
Well, we hold everybody. We hold the Ministry of Sports, we hold the federations, we hold the athletes.
Leave our athletes alone.